Nazi Germany sought to exterminate those who did not meet their ideal racial standards. Concurrently, they initiated a secretive program breeding select individuals to create their ideal offspring. Greetings everyone, I'm Chris. Today, we will now explore the experiences of the everyday individuals who once resided in Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany's terrifying vision. Nazi Germany's emergence under Adolf Hitler heralded a chilling epoch in the 20th century. The overarching vision of Nazi Germany wasn't just limited to territorial conquests or military might. It was an all-encompassing socio-political ideology that sought to reshape European civilization in its image. Central to Nazi ideology was the belief in Aryan race superiority. Tied closely to this was the concept of Lebensraum or living space. Drawing on skewed interpretations of ancient Germanic history, pseudo-scientific theories, and warped nationalism, the Nazis propagated the idea that Germans were not only unique, but also destined to rule over others. To fulfill this destiny, they believed Germany needed to expand territorially, especially eastwards. This expansionist idea wasn't just rhetoric. It was methodically integrated into every facet of German society, from education and art to politics and business. To achieve this racial utopia, any group that did not fit within the Nazi definition of the perfect Aryan was deemed a threat. The Jews bore the brunt of this animosity, being vilified as the archenemies of the Aryan race. They were systematically dehumanized through propaganda, segregated from society, and eventually were subjected to the horrors of the Holocaust, which stands as one of the most significant and horrifying genocides in human history, claiming the lives of 6 million Jews. However, the Jews weren't the only targets. Romani people, Slavs, disabled individuals, communists, homosexuals, and several other groups were persecuted, and in many cases, exterminated. In essence, the Third Reich's vision was not just about changing borders or governance. It was about altering the very fabric of society to create a world dominated by a single race, a single leader, and a single, terrifying ideology. The impacts of this vision, and the global resistance against it, have left an indelible mark on world history. The unsettling tale of Hildegard Lutz, in the heart of Nazi Germany, amidst the vast sea of faces that blindly followed the directives of the Third Reich, one name stands out, embodying the complexities and dilemmas faced by young Germans of the time. Hildegard Lutz. Born into a modest family in Weimar, Germany, Hildegard grew up amidst political turmoil and economic instability. As she entered her formative teenage years, Hitler's Nazi Party began to consolidate power. Like many of her peers, she was drawn to the sense of purpose, unity, and national pride the Nazis promised. By the age of 18, Hildegard was more than a young woman coming of age in tumultuous times. She became an emblem of the Nazi ideal. An ardent supporter, she joined the League of German Girls. To outsiders, this organization appeared to foster camaraderie, discipline, and physical fitness. Yet, beneath this facade lay a darker intent. The League's primary objective was to instill Nazi ideologies deeply within the psyche of its young members. Through passionate speeches, patriotic songs, and rigorous physical activities, it conditioned these girls, preparing them for their duty to the Reich. Hildegard, with her fervent belief in the Nazi cause, soon became entangled in a more covert and insidious aspect of the regime's plans, the Lebensborn program. This state-sponsored initiative promised honor and respect to young women who bore children with selected SS officers, with the hope of producing racially pure offspring. Believing she was contributing to the glory and future of her nation, Hildegard took part. However, not all children born within this program were separated from their mothers. Many, especially those born to unmarried mothers like Hildegard, faced the harsh reality of having their babies swiftly taken from them. These children were then placed into special Nazarene institution, designed to nurture and raise them as the next generation of Aryan leaders. The emotional anguish of such separation, coupled with societal pressures, left scars on Hildegard's psyche. Hildegard's story is emblematic of the many young Germans seduced by the allure of the Nazi propaganda machine. It serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of blind allegiance and the profound human cost of totalitarian regimes. The Forgotten Children. The Nazi regime, with its far-reaching tentacles of oppression, left no stone unturned in its quest for racial purity. While many are aware of the atrocities committed in concentration camps and the infamous Lebensborn program, there were other lesser-known operations that targeted the young and vulnerable. From the streets of occupied territories, particularly those of Poland, Russia, and Eastern Europe, children were abruptly taken from the arms of their distraught parents. Approximately 200,000 of these children, once vibrant with their native languages and cultures, were chosen for their Aryan-like features, which the Nazis believed could be assimilated into the German racial mainstream. These children were then transported to Germany under the guise of Germanization. The process was nothing short of traumatic. On arrival, they were stripped of their identities. Their names were changed, their pasts obliterated. Many were told that their parents had abandoned them or, even worse, that they were dead. They were allowed to speak only German, effectively severing them from their roots and histories. In special camps and homes, they underwent rigorous re-education. They were indoctrinated with Nazi ideologies, taught to forget their origins, and were trained to become loyal citizens of the Third Reich. The psychological trauma inflicted upon these children was immeasurable. Many would grow up with fragmented memories of their past, torn between their original identities and the ones forced upon them. But not all children were deemed fit for Germanization. Those who resisted, or were judged to be too non-Aryan in appearance or behavior, faced grim fates. Some were subjected to medical experiments. Others were sent to concentration camps, and many were outrightly exterminated. Control through food. In the annals of history, it's evident that controlling a population's access to food is a powerful means of exerting influence and dominance. For the Nazi regime, this was no exception. As Germany expanded its territories and plunged deeper into war, the nation faced inevitable food shortages, prompting the Nazis to devise cunning strategies to manage these scarcities. As the war raged on, rationing became a part of everyday life for German citizens. Strict regulations were imposed on what could be bought and consumed, more than just a logistical response to shortages. These rationing measures served a dual purpose. They not only addressed supply challenges, but also acted as a psychological tool, ensuring the populace remained subdued and compliant. The constant reminder of scarcity kept citizens dependent on the regime, reinforcing its control over every aspect of their lives. Every individual, regardless of their status, was provided with ration cards that determined the amount and type of food they could purchase. Staples like meat, dairy, and sugar were in limited supply, forcing households to adapt to a more frugal way of eating. The regime's propaganda machine played a pivotal role in this food control. Radio broadcasts, newspapers, and community gatherings preached the idea of sacrifice for the greater German cause. Housewives, who were at the forefront of managing household meals, became specific targets of this propaganda. They were regularly provided with recipes and tips to make the most of scarce resources, meals with alternative ingredients and methods to extend the shelf life of perishables became commonplace. Yet, in the heart of Berlin and other major cities, a stark contrast was evident. While the common populace queued for hours for basic foodstuffs, the Nazi elites and high-ranking officers dined in opulence. Restaurants reserved for them served delicacies and imported goods, revealing a glaring double standard. This opulence was more than just a testament to their privilege. It was a statement of power, showing that they were above the sufferings of the common people. Furthermore, food control extended beyond just rationing. It became a tool for persecution. In occupied territories, local food supplies were often redirected to support the German military and populace. This left the occupied regions starved, leading to malnutrition, and in extreme cases, famine. Such deprivation was especially severe in ghettos and concentration camps, where food scarcity was deliberately used as a means of torture and control. In this intricate web of control through food, the Nazi regime not only managed its internal challenges, but also employed it as a weapon of war and oppression. It reminds us how even basic necessities, like food, can be manipulated in the hands of oppressive powers. Nazi education molding the next generation. Education systems, both formal and extracurricular, were deeply influenced by Nazi ideologies. Schools became potent tools to embed these beliefs into the youth, while extracurricular groups, notably the Hitler Youth, played a significant role in indoctrinating the younger generation outside the classroom. These setups worked in tandem to ensure that children were immersed in Nazi ideals at every turn. Girls were trained to be obedient, docile, and groomed to become ideal Nazi wives and mothers. Boys, in contrast, underwent rigorous physical training and were conditioned to become fierce soldiers, ready to defend the ideals of the Third Reich. Eugenics, a pseudoscience that advocated the improvement of the human race through controlled breeding, based on discriminatory and racist principles, became a regular topic in schools. This was complemented with revised history, lessons that glorified German achievements and Aryan supremacy while demonizing others, especially Jews. The Edelweiss Pirates, a beacon of resistance. But even in these times of pervasive control and indoctrination, there were sparks of defiance. The Edelweiss Pirates, a group primarily consisting of working-class youth, resisted Nazi ideologies. These brave young souls, rather than succumbing to the oppressive Nazi ideologies, took active measures to fight back. It's worth noting that the Nazi regime ruthlessly suppressed and persecuted any form of dissent or opposition, whether it emanated from political circles or the general populace, further highlighting the regime's menacing and totalitarian nature. Leaders like Prince Thalen stood out. Despite facing torture and the ever-present threat of execution, they continued their covert operations, assisting POWs, aiding persecuted Jews, and even daring to strike against local Nazi representatives. Nazi Germany's reign was brief, yet its impact was profound and haunting. Through the stories of ordinary citizens, we get a glimpse of the harrowing experiences and the glimmers of hope that persisted. In remembering their tales, we honor the sacrifices made and stand as a reminder to always fight for justice and freedom. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Take care and see you in the next video. Goodbye!